following podcast may contain strong language. Listener discretion is advised.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to Hallmark of Greatness, the podcast that shows you the future you know you don't want. I'm Joe, and with me as always, she can diagnose any allergic reaction under the sun and runs a haunted veil shop. It's Barney.
A haunted veil shop.
That's the last one we did, was that
I know.
wedding veil where she's a magician or whatever. I can't remember what the bloody hell that was about. And a man putting in all the hours God sends at the Irish-themed casino, beach bar and ravioli emporium. That's right, he's made it to the main show. It's James!
Hooray! I've finally crawled my way out of the cesspit of
You've put the work in. You put the work in. You have. If you would like to keep up to date with all the Hallmark of Greatness gossip, you can follow us on Twitter at Hallmark of Great, all one word, or we are on Instagram, Facebook, Hallmark of Greatness, or if you have a suggestion for a film you would like us to watch, you can email it to us at hallmarkofgreatness@gmail.com, I think. I don't know.
Please send us some suggestions because we just can't pick good films.
Or even abuse just anything.
Amazon suggests stuff like it hates me. Yeah. Oh, because this is, I mean, no pants into the terror. 2021's Love Map, which I now feel sounds like a book you get like when you need to spice things up in the bedroom.
The A to Z of sex.
You just lie them down and then draw B roads on them.
The writer of this, Julia something or other, the only other thing she's done, there's two things: a burlesque documentary and then the A to Z's of food. And
that's a combination of
thing. Yeah.
Well, she can dance on cornflakes, do an erotic dance on cornflakes. That'll work.
I don't know that she crossed over. I think she's just ticking off genres.
Barney, have you synopsised up Love Map?
Yeah. Kelsey is well organised, loves a list and struggles with spontaneity. That is until she visits a fortune teller with her ethnic best friend, who hands her a treasure map citing that love marks the spot. Kelsey uses the map and bumps into Captain Pegleg, also searching for love. Will they have a swashbuckling romance, or will Kelsey be unlucky once again? And what plank?
That's
good. I think you've gone down the same theme as me last week and wanting it to be a pirate film.
We can do a pirate film at some point. Is Captain Pegleg, does he have a peg leg? Or is it just his surname is just Pegleg?
I don't know. I went, what's the pirate's name? And then I remembered Pegleg in the roof. So
Pegleg that lived in the loft, yeah.
Is it like that? I can't remember what the name of the effect is, but once you've got a name, you become the thing.
Oh, nominative determinism.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes. No, this was the person that lived up in the roof above Barney's bedroom who used to just hop around at night. I think it must have been a big rat or something, but it sounded like a man with a peg leg. Like
he was dragging his leg across the floor.
Walking across. And that was Slither stomach. It's fine, don't worry about it. Just growing up in our house. The actual synopsis, which is somehow worse. A journalist on the verge of launching a dating app is tasked with writing a map of the most romantic places in Florida. The only problem is that she has to team up with a tour guide whose tastes are diametrically opposed to hers. Now, diametrically is doing a lot of heavy lifting there because I didn't get that, but okay. Just so you know, I hated this film. This felt like a GCSE drama project.
Yes, very much so.
It had, I would say, if it was that weird thing of being a sandwich, well, a shit sandwich actually, and that both ends were sort of like a film, and then the middle was just garbage.
Yeah, but the last bit of the film, they were sort of like, well, we have to get these tropes in. We've got to get these story beats in for no reason other than because that's what you do in these films. Because when whatever his name showed up, and then she was like, no. And he went, oh, go home then. And he was like, why? But yeah, right. Well, let's get into this then. 2021's Love Map. We open, as we always do. On panning shots of, I'm assuming, the Florida Keys or coastline of Florida.
It's a bit different.
It is, because it's normally San Francisco.
Yeah.
So that was nice. And we're introduced to our protagonist in this film, Avery, who every time I hear it, all I can think of, she hasn't got a load of birds in her. And that's an aviary, isn't it, boys and girls? Yeah.
I like the fact that she's in her offices, the Love Map offices, and it clearly says to let down the side of the building.
Don't worry about that.
She's got offices for this app that hasn't even launched yet. So where have they got all this money from?
Exactly. Why have they got this massive Google style? There's a foosball table. There's only 2 people working on it. Her
There's
and her
5
mate.
I counted.
Oh, right. Okay. None of those are introduced by name, though.
No.
It's just
Only
her
Maggie.
and Camilla, isn't it? No, sorry, Maggie. Sorry. And she's sitting on reception. So what the other 3 people are doing, 4 people, one of them is not a receptionist.
Mm.
No.
And then does a mum turn up?
She's looking at something on this thing and going, as some animated hearts put 83 or a random number on there.
Well, no, I mean, get it right. I mean, she's got 3 signs around her that say love map to give her confidence. 5 succulents and
Even
1
then-
globe.
I'm an idiot because I was like, oh, I wonder what this dating website's called. It's the name of the film, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh,
And boy, do they...
P.
But with 2 P's, yeah.
Don't know why. It's disruptive, innovative, isn't it? She's posing revolutionary new questions to ask on the dating site, such as lifestyle, food, music, movies, hobbies, location.
I mean, who's never done that before? When I go on, it's just big talk. Like, have you ever murdered a whale? It's because, it's like how is that? I didn't understand the concept of this because it just looked like any other dating app. But apparently
it's all like loaded stuff, isn't it? I mean, you like the same movies. I think she explains it a little bit later on. But the location bit, that's a bit more sort of practical, isn't it? But does she think of that in a moral sense? Oh, you live in Vancouver. Get to hell.
It could be. I was assuming if that, because she says it's not for like romance, it's for finding someone forever or something. And I had flashbacks to that one we did about the dating app ages ago. It was one of the very early ones.
Yes, first one.
Yeah, and it's just like, this must be a trope. Her mum comes in and is like, are you working on your app, Love Map? And then I was like, right, every time they say it, I'm playing this.
Map.
Well done, Joe.
Thanks, that took me
Good
all
use
10
of
minutes
time.
to do before that.
They have some. I've put DSE assessment banter at this point because
There's a
she's talking
lot
about
of-
how she sat at a desk a lot.
There's a lot of heavy plot exposition here of, oh, well, maybe once I've done this, I can go and spend some time with Floyd and we'll be happy. And
Was his name Floyd or was it Lloyd?
Floyd.
Lloyd.
Floyd
When she
Lloyd.
sat in the cafe later on, the phone rings and it says Floyd on it.
All right, okay.
Yeah. And so,
Anyway,
like,
Grant Forbes is wrong.
from travelguru.com or something?
World Travel
not-
Guru.
Not Lonely Planet.
No, World Travel Guru. And he says that if she wants them to partner with them or something, because a dating app and a travel website, there's obviously a crossover there.
Obviously.
Question mark, yeah. Also, she used to be a journalist as well. So she's
Oh, yeah,
she's
we
like
get that
she's like a
thrown in.
journalist at the weekends as a hobby or something.
Right, now that, like Lonely Planet or something, reputable company, they'd publish a guide to an area. They might put in like one bit where you can go for a romantic meal or something like that. And that's
Yeah.
it, because they're trying to cater to everyone.
Yeah.
I don't know what the plan is here. To make a physical map, but to have shit tons of writing in it.
Well, when we see the map later on, it is literally a map of Florida with some dots drawn on it, isn't
With
it?
her
It's like-
face drawn on it.
With holes in it where he's thrown darts at it.
Oh, fucking hell. So he says, right, we'll partner with you and you can use our name on the app or something. I didn't.
And we'll do a merger.
And he says, yeah, okay, you can have all this, but I want you to go and write like a tour guide of all the most romantic areas in Florida.
And some hidden gems.
But also, while you're out there, you've got a week to do all of this.
A week.
And also find some extra bonus ones as well. You know what fucking much, do you, Grant? Forbes magazine.
Forbesy Forbes.
And so, like, she goes, oh, okay, that's great, yeah. Maggie is like, I'll work on the app. You go and do this, and then we'll be famous or some shit.
Because coding's her favourite. She likes
She's-
coding.
Coding's her skill. Hi, kids. James's mic did something weird here. So until we get that fixed, here's some jaunty music. Oh, we're back. So she is like, great, I'll go and speak to my boyfriend Floyd, who I've been going out with for an undetermined amount of time. But like, because they break up later on very easily.
Yeah, they're supposed to be 98% compatible. And she later says something about how the app is designed around her having this perfect relationship, which is a very bad design.
Yeah, because
everyone's
not...
like, you're not Floyd or Lloyd or whatever your name is.
Keith Floyd. Yeah. Imagine if it was him. That'd be a better film, wouldn't it? Still leathered in the Florida Everglades trying to eat people. She goes and speaks to him, and he's like, I've got to go and do this. And he's like, I've got to go and do a business thing because I'm obviously a lawyer or a real estate guy, because that's the only two options available for evil boyfriends in these films, isn't it?
Yeah.
So she goes, right, well, I'll see you in a week. And he goes, all right, bye. And then for some reason later on, he's like, I'm going to come out. Anyway, yeah, we'll get to that when we get to it. Boy, is that a mess. So she goes out and she can't drive herself because she gets car sick, but she can drive a car.
Yeah, somehow.
So Ellis gets car sick, but he doesn't get car sick when he's driving.
No.
I just found it strange. How did she pass? Was she just whirling out the window as she was? Don't mind me.
Just bombed on the
that way,
instructor.
wouldn't it? 'Cause it's America. But yeah, but so she has to get a guide, and we are introduced to the love interest question mark of this film. The man's so exciting. They named him Ian.
No offense to Ian.
No offense to anyone called Ian. I know some lovely Ians. I know some menaces as well, but it's not a name it's not like Chip or like Throb, is it? Like Ian? It very much sounds like
one step away from being Keith.
He doesn't leave a very good impression, though, does he? Because he sort of berates her for turning up with loads of like packing and everything, and he's got a shit car.
Right. So she turns up with like one big suitcase, which is like,
for a week, I think, is
for
pretty
a week
reasonable.
It's fairly reasonable. You don't know what you're going to be doing, so you're going to want to change your clothes, like at least 2 changes of clothes a day, because you could fall over or whatever. Yeah. And she's a girl.
Just before this, I wrote a note on this about the massive Zen garden, so I just need to come back to that.
Yeah.
Because what was she called? Macy? Was there with a giant ass rake, just raking this.
That was a strange scene.
It was
clearly. I wonder what they were raking for ages while they were talking, because it was a bit like a J cut.
In that building that they were renting, clearly, they clearly had a Zen garden, and they were like, we're going to film some stuff there. It'll look great. And everyone was like, this is so weird. Why is this happening?
But I thought a Zen garden with them little ones where you have a little thing on the table and you're like, ooh, Zen, not a big ass rake.
No, a proper one is like a thing that you go and like make all smooth and meditate, and it's supposed to be like a calming experience, I believe. The little ones are for like offices, and it's more like a little joke sort of thing.
It's not something for you to do with your boss either. That's not very relaxing.
I think it's supposed to be a solo like meditation decompression sort of thing, not so you're going to Florida then. Raking all this scree up. So yeah, and he's like, why you brought so much luggage, you woman? And he goes, oh, this is my car. And it's like, it's an old truck. Like,
yeah, it's a Dodge.
It's a Dodge that sounds like it's got a tractor engine in it as well when they're driving.
He's called it Thelma, which is a bit weird when people start naming vehicles, I think.
I mean, Thelma's got a better name than him.
Thelma and Ian, the sequel to Thelma and Louise, where they just go to B&Q on a bank holiday weekend.
They immediately fall out over spontaneity and spreadsheets. Automatically, the dialogue and like the chemistry between them is just crap.
Yeah, as you can tell, Avery is very, let's make a list, let's all be organized. And Ian is like, I'm a free spirit, except I'm not, because I'm Ian. Also, no seatbelts in that truck. I mean, it doesn't matter because they weren't driving anywhere, because they were just in a car being shut gently while a green screen showed some stuff in the background. But yeah, no seatbelts. Is that allowed in Florida? Probably.
Duff.org didn't pick up on that.
Well, less said about that. It's not
they
one
left
of
it in
Jesus's
God's
laws.
hands. That was good.
Jesus, take the wheel.
They go to the beach, and she's very down on the beach, even though it just looks like a seafront.
It's supposed to be this romantic boardwalk, and it literally looks like a fucking strip mall. Like, I was expecting like a Pizza Hut and then like a like just chain stuff there. And she's like, this isn't romantic. And he goes, the street's cobbled. And I was like, fair point. Can't argue with that.
Yeah, they go into a shop and he really likes a bottle full of shells. That's the only thing they consider purchasing, and then they leave.
And then she holds up a t-shirt and goes, they shouldn't sell these. It says Florida on it. You're in Florida. To prove that you're in Florida, buy a Florida shirt. Unless you're not in Florida, you liars. Then it was all filmed in Canada. And then he goes, oh, well, over there's a pier. That might be romantic. They get to the pier. It's been shut because it's haunted. Or there's anthrax or something. It doesn't say. It's just shut.
Yeah.
Well, it could be dangerous. It could be falling apart. But they ignore that and climb up a rickety ladder.
Well, they climb up a rickety ladder, but she's like, I'm not climbing up a rickety ladder because I'm wearing a dress. And he goes, I'm not going to look up your skirt. And then I was like, what a strange thing to say, Ian.
He could have just said, oh, I'll go up first.
I'll go up first. Yeah.
Skirt around that. Oh,
Promise I'm not looking.
And then they enjoy their illicit pier experience.
This is when the sparks, well, I say the spark, this is when the damp matches begin to fly. Yeah. And they're like, well, this is not terrible. Oh, well, let's go and find somewhere to sleep.
Ah, I found the perfect place. Couldn't have said it better myself. They both go in two opposite directions to two different hotels, which was a very strange thing to do. But he gets a call from Cartography magazine, which keeps hassling him all the way
Free
through.
compass with part 2. Yeah. Is that a real magazine? I'm going to guess no.
It's just an A to Z.
I don't fully understand his obsession with cartography because he keeps talking about cartography in the context of Florida, which was discovered and mapped by the Spanish some 500 years ago.
I was thinking
There's not much
that.
to do.
What else is there left to discover, Ian?
The sea cartography. That would be valid.
Is it? There's now there for a lot of it. He's just going to hear me dragons. A lot of it. Isn't he? Like,
on the surface, no. It all is very, very flat topography. That's true.
Yeah,
he asks her about her app.
Well, he shows up with a slice of pizza for breakfast, and she's like, "You fucking monster!"
She's outraged, isn't she? But
She
there's
doesn't
a lot
have an
of
egg on
food.
it.
There's a lot of food involved in this film, which isn't usual.
Yeah, that's true. No big salads either.
Because
No, but
usually
there was
they just mess around with food.
There was a weird moment where they had so many green beans in a bowl, just loads of them. It's only 4 here. You're planning on photosynthesizing, yeah. So she's like, "Why are you eating pizza for breakfast?" And he's like, "Oh, my dad took me fishing, and we had pizza for breakfast." I was like, "Okay, just I like it. That would be enough, wouldn't it?" Also, where did you get pizza from in the morning?
It's leftover pizza, surely.
Could be leftover pizza,
Which we've all done.
Oh yeah,
That's what I
in the
assumed
morning.
it was. Yeah.
Maybe.
This is the pizza I ate when my father.
She explains that that's part of his love map or something, and that it's social relationships.
Map.
That and he says 2 people who like peas aren't necessarily going to love each other, and then Katie added to pieces. I thought that's good.
Nice.
I'm going to tell them about that.
It's good. Yeah, that was a good line though, because it's like me and my wife don't have that much in common in terms of interests and things. There's an overlap of some stuff, but a lot of it is not the same. And I hate peas.
Yeah, quite a lot of this film is just destroying the business case for her app, but nobody ever cares. So.
No, because she changes the algorithm to put the X factor in it. Then I was like, what the fuck is that?
In 2 hours. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
In 2 hours. Hey, that's a superpower.
He nicks a slice of her bacon, and I was horrified by that. That would be the end of the relationship.
I'd be like, right, that's it. Get in your car and fuck off, son.
I'll offer some bacon, but you're not taking it.
No, stab him in the hand. Touch him. But he already had some food. And I'm like, has he got fucking tapeworm?
It's besides the point that the bacon does look like a tapeworm. It looks horrible.
It does look very horrible.
And then he's like, okay, let's I'll take you to a secret location and not murder you. Oh, you've said that, Ian.
Oh, look up your skirt.
There's a lot of that. I'll murder you, then look up your skirt. So he takes her to like what looks like a quarry.
She likes Scream.
It looks like a fucking industrial runoff somewhere. And she's like, the water's so clear, and I'm like, shouldn't be green though.
This isn't on any list.
No.
You're right. It's a black site. Isn't
this
it?
is where I throw the bodies normally.
I mean, yeah, you could kind of see that with his beaten up car. But
yeah.
No one can go there and enjoy this place. That's my concern. Like, there's nothing that like you can't rock up there and, get a cocktail or, you
No,
can't do
it's-
any of that. There's no canoes on the
No.
quarry surface.
There's no canoes because it's a quarry. It's an abandoned quarry. People
But
go
she
there and
goes-
throw tumble dryers into it so they don't have to pay to get them taken away.
She's all sad because they can't go down there, so he says, "How tall are you?" 5'4". Here are 2 giant sticks. Off you pop.
Two sticks that were just there,
Yeah, that's his hitting sticks normally.
and the sticks
Or
don't
he
do
uses-
anything.
He uses to poke them down in the water. Sink. Yeah, walking poles are like, unless you're using them properly, they're going to do more damage than good. But
'Cause when she's going downhill, she hands them back to him
Back
so
to
she
him,
can
so I was
walk
like,
down the
yeah.
hill.
unless
I'm
she was
so
going to
glad I
cast
had these.
dual wielding spells at people, it was what's the point in this? And then she's like, "This is brilliant. This is the best place I've ever been." And I was fucking hell, love. But yeah, he says, "Oh well, not many people know it's here, and that's how I'll keep it." You keep your mouth shut. They go and get some more food because, again, tapeworm. And they go to this cafe,
a truck stop.
truck
Yeah.
stop diner place. He's eating his food, and and he goes, she's got this map that I'm assuming has been given, and it is literally a map of Florida with, I'm assuming, the major cities highlighted on it.
With
Yeah.
a red cross.
with
That's where you
yeah.
expected to go. That's probably where you'll fly into if you're visiting the state, I guess.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
But I'm assuming that's the map that she was given by Grant of the most romantic locations, the airport.
Well, isn't he running through security to stop the flight?
Security. And Grant's like, Ian's like, "No, we're not doing that. Let's go." And he puts it on a dartboard that's in this truck stop for some reason. Throws a dart into it and he's like, "We're going there." Oh, also, this guy's a helicopter pilot and he's gonna fly us around for a bit.
Trevor, his mate Trevor.
Walter.
Walter.
Walter looked like the least enthused person I've
Walter?
ever
Okay.
seen.
Walter, the helicopter pilot.
Did you get what his company was called?
Oh, was it Walter's Chopper?
It was Up in the Air Limited.
Lovely stuff.
Nice.
No disguising what it is.
Nope. It only could have been called Helicopter Tours to make it more shit. So they fly around a green screen helicopter while we get drone shots of the beach and stuff. And
Yeah, he's like, hold on to my bicep.
hold on to my muscle arm because she's got her eyes closed. And I'm like, you're scared of heights, you get car sick. How do you function as a person? You should have given her 2 sticks to hold in the plane. That'd have been all right. She holds it and she looks out and she goes, "Oh, this is great." And Walter gets his big line, "Yes, sir."
He does not want to be there.
I'm assuming they paid him for the helicopter ride.
Yeah.
I don't reckon, no, because it's not even a real helicopter. Again, it's the shaking a helicopter set. You never see them like in the helicopter flying about because this ain't got a budget.
Don't shatter those dreams for me. They're in a helicopter with Walter.
Okay, Walter.
Yes,
Oh, yeah,
boss.
it hits an air pocket. Are there many of those in the air?
Yeah, I didn't know that was a real thing. I thought that was a made-up thing that you say.
Is it kind of like there's bubbles under the sea, so there's just, to balance that out, there's like bubbles of air in the sky? I don't know.
I think it's turbulences. It's like air,
Yeah,
hot air thermals, I think.
right.
But that wouldn't, I don't know. I'm not a bird. Because I saw a thing where hang gliders are training birds of prey to like fly in front of them, and then they follow them so they get the thermals because the birds know where they are,
Oh,
like
okay.
infrared or whatever. It looked quite good, but then I was like, why?
But if it's a particularly mischievous bird of prey, and it's just like taking them off on a jolly.
It just crashes into the ground. Ah!
Yeah.
Yeah, well, presumably
I've
that's what they're
seen
doing.
Kez.
Is it
I'll
rabbits
get you.
now? Come on, die.
I'll get you,
Um,
Judd, you bastard.
Back at the hotel, she's on the phone to Floyd Lloyd, and he's annoyed that she went up in a helicopter.
Yeah,
Like,
he's
what the
always
fuck has
wanted to
it
do
got
an
with you?
helicopter. One of his biggest fantasies, one of the 3 things to tick off. Fly in a helicopter, have a go in a submarine, and kill a man.
He says that she ought to come home. She acts very badly to that suggestion.
This, right. Also, the editing in this is fucking atrocious. What? No. It's like they've clearly not filmed them talking to each other and
Yeah.
have just made them do the bits, but they've not cut it to look like they're actually having a conversation.
There's
Yeah.
quite a lot of this where she's just on a phone and it's
Yes.
not quite clear
Oh,
what's
God,
happening.
taking for ages.
Yeah.
Um,
Expecting that little graphic to come up of what they're texting about, but they never put it in.
They never put it in. I was so excited. I love that. That's my favourite bit. Yeah, he says you should come home, and she's like, "I've got to do this report. You should come out here." And he's like, "No, I've got a business to do." And then she goes, "We're not having a fight. We don't have fights." And I was like, "Well, you are, sort of, but you started it." Like, you're both horrible people.
Well, she says she doesn't like to quit something, and he goes, but remember that one thing you did quit on?
Remember
Just
that
to
time you
really
quit?
rub
Just
salt
to
into
rub
the
it in.
wounds.
You tried it once, so why not try it again? Yeah.
Maggie texts back a bunch of emojis as well. I didn't really know what that was.
I thought you might have got what the emojis were.
Oh, I thought it was like a Richard Osman's House of Games style quiz, and it was.
It's like, what is that? What does that mean?
I didn't pick up what it was because it was just like smiley face,
Aubergine.
Yeah.
And then she opens up a laptop in a huff and then starts writing. Right, so she's aligned it so that the text is in the middle of Word, right? And she writes, "Is love a matter of perspective?" And occasionally she just doesn't save this document and just overwrites whatever comes to mind. I don't know.
It's a Google Doc. I noticed this. It's a
Oh, is
Google
it?
Doc. Because when she's later, she wants Wi-Fi. I thought, well, there's no point doing any work, love, because it's not going to save because you need Wi-Fi for Google Docs.
Yeah, well, you can save it locally, but yeah, to access, unless you already had it open. But yeah,
My journal of my thoughts.
maybe it's just a thought journal. She just types.
I
Angry.
feel sick.
You know, like when you're supposed to write letters to people that you're angry at and then never send them. Maybe she just does that, but in a digital format. She just types them up and then overwrites them constantly. But yeah, the next day they drive to he abducts her, basically.
Yeah, he's hurt his leg, which
Is
is
this
never,
the leg? Yeah.
which is never a good sign. It's like
Yeah.
when my driving instructor was done for speeding. You know, it's not good.
Yeah, because he went off to muck about on the dunes or something and got attacked by like a fucking shark. I don't know. Like,
Sandworm.
I don't know. It was never explained. But he's like, I'll wrap my handkerchief around it, and she somehow gets a first aid kit from somewhere, wraps his leg up, and goes, "Well, you're no use if you've got your leg goes septic or something." So does that happen a lot in the anyway?
Well,
So
it doesn't need a big cut to go septic.
No,
does
as we
it?
know, yeah. So he's like, "I've got an idea. I'll take you to the most romantic place in this here swamp."
I'll take
This
you
is
to
so
another
romantic.
truck stop.
But this guy's insane.
They go for a meal at Eli's insane sandwich shop. Oh man, Eli's got big local theatre company energy about him.
I put that he was the most abrupt Rolf Harris lookalike ever.
Great. So she goes, "I'll have a chicken sandwich," and he goes,
No, you won't.
Nope.
No sandwich for you.
Because Katie was saying, like, well, you know, it might be a specialist sort of place. And I was like, but there's like Lipton iced tea there in the background.
Yeah.
Can I have one of them? No.
No, you're gonna have cold bovril. What? No, I don't want that, Eli. Listen, beefy drinker, nothing. Right. So yeah, he goes, no, you can't have a chicken sandwich. You're gonna have prawns.
Shrimp po' boy.
Yeah, shrimp po' boy. I'd have been like, I'm allergic to seafood. Eli, you prick. Just to rub it in. Like,
but he makes it better. He gives him some love cake.
Yeah, and then he goes and
love
for
potion pie.
I love potion pie, which just means he's jizzed in it, doesn't it? It's fucking gross.
He also takes the time to say that it's Eli, son of Eli, son of Eli.
It's like, who begat Eli? Who begat Eli? Yeah, best character in this film, and that's not saying a lot, really.
He's literally only in it for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, he's the most aggressive sandwich shop owner who. He gives her this prawn sandwich. He gives him like a fucking beef sandwich, some of this key lime pie that he's just on, and doesn't charge them. What kind of structure is this, Eli? What would Grandpa Eli be saying? Now he's running his business into the ground.
Ian's paid him beforehand. That's why she can't change her order. It's been prepaid for.
She fucking loves shrimp.
Then they go to eat it by a lake or something. And he says something about this boyfriend and where's your favorite romantic location to take him. I'm like, don't ask me that.
Weird, isn't it?
Yeah. We've known each other like a day.
And you owe me bacon. Although you did buy me a prawn sandwich that I didn't want. So I guess that pays off in the end. She does say the food is lovely. She does say the food is lovely. And then he tries to eat all the pie as well. Because it's sort of like a running joke that he snacks a lot.
Because he looks like a man that snacks a lot.
No, he looks like a man that should have a flat cap and be in Mumford and Sons. Like he's because he's got very, very tight when they're walking across the beach to that pier early on. He's got very, very tight jeans on for a cartographer. I thought they'd have big pockets for all the compasses and like sextants and stuff.
This is the other
He's
thing.
not got his compass yet. He's not got.
He's not allowed.
He's not got the second.
He
version.
berates her for taking like a full suitcase full of luggage, and he's got like a racing jacket on. And I was like, how's that going to stand up to the swamps and humidity of Florida?
Don't worry
Wearing
about it.
that
We're
like
not
a
in Florida,
straitjacket.
mate. We're not in it. Yeah, and they sort of like this is supposed to be like she's not happy with Floyd, and like he's trying to sort. I don't know. This isn't going to last anyway. Is this where he abducts her?
Yeah, because he's like, well,
Yeah.
I've got some friends that have got a B&B nearby. Let's drive the murder van. And it breaks down at the place itself.
Just outside.
Phew, that was close. Yeah, so they get there, and then we're introduced to fucking hell. What was the Joy and
Martha and Dave.
Martha and Dave? Fucking hell. Martha, pick an accent. I'm British, I am. It's fucking hell.
Yeah, it does fluctuate.
So Martha and Dave are Ian's godparents.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they bought this B&B at a knockdown price because they went there every year and they loved it, and then they bought it and they're doing it up.
They went there every year until it was a ruin, and then they bought the ruin.
I reckon they were there every year. They were there like kicking the doors and like wiggling the fucking floorboards. Oh, see that? You see, that's going to knock some money off. Kicking the pipes in the shower. And so like this is the weirdest bit for me because she just sort of goes, yeah, fuck that assignment I've got.
I'd be fuming. I am surprised that she is not more angry with him throughout this.
Well, he basically abducts her at this point because she goes, oh, well, I'll just, he goes, oh, I need to order a part for the truck. No, I'll take the truck into town to be repaired. Him and Dave go off. Martha and her have, like, she shows her round and she's like, here's the pool. Look at the waterfall. Wow, it's lovely. It's not really a waterfall. It's a little spigot. Like,
and then the weirdest nugget of this entire film is this.
It was
pergola
installed
that
in
they've
the 80s. The pool. Thanks.
That is what like going around people with that generation is like, though, isn't it?
Oh, you mean the view room, which is a fucking gazebo on the beach?
Yeah, the gazebo,
Not even
right?
a good gazebo.
It's not. It's not a good gazebo at all, and it's always mentioned in connection with a hurricane that is impending.
But it never comes. I wanted to see that.
I want to see how it stacks up against a hurricane after all the effort they went up.
Having to eat Dave when he goes out to save the view room. And she's like, oh, well, this is great. But she's like, Martha says, like, we've poured all our money into this and blah, blah, blah. And if the hurricanes hit, we're done for. And I'm like, again, I've been here an hour. Like,
yeah.
Why are you telling me this?
They're telling her this because the truck can't be fixed. There's no Wi-Fi. There's no bar except in a corner of the property, and the nearest cafe is 10 miles away. I would be livid. I'm on the clock for this.
This is misery. This is fucking Kathy Bates' dirty bird in him. Yeah. There's nothing she can do.
They get some free labour out of her.
She's trapped there, right? Because where's she going to go? Oh, you can drive my car into town. I can't. I get
can
car
you drive stick?
No, I also vomit everywhere. That is a problem, isn't it? Yeah. And so she's like, I'll do work offline or something like, and we already know that's impossible.
She writes down, what is your love language? Words of affirmation, physical touch.
These are just song titles for a debut album.
And you borrow a feeling.
It's dignity, Luan.
She overhears them working on the pergola, laughing merrily as they go.
Tickling each other by the sounds of it.
It's all that moss they're scraping off. But this beats 60-second makeover. It's just done. Poof.
Well, this is what? She had a week, and this is day 3 by my count.
Yeah.
But by the end of this day, though, they've painted it, they're stringing lights up, it's done. Boof.
Ready for the hurricane.
Ready for the hurricane,
yeah. Maybe. So she comes out and was like, oh, I'll help because you're having fun and I don't want to be like a big old stick in the mud. And then her and Ian have like the worst flirting ever.
With pirate talk.
She puts a bucket of moss on his head.
Yeah, she puts a bucket of moss on his head and keeps going on, keeps doing pirate voices.
She's secretly snogging Captain Pegleg out.
Pegleg at the back. My secret cove. But like, is Florida famous for pirates? I don't know. But yeah, it's like she puts like, and he's all right with it. He just, oh, this is funny, isn't it? Like,
he catches her. She falls off the pergola or whatever it is, and he catches a typical sort of like Hallmark style thing. They take a walk on the beach. Nice beach montage.
They have so much walk. Do you want to go for a walk? Constantly. It's like me talking to the dog.
He's got to burn all them calories off from his many, many meals.
This is the thing, like, you've been slaving away, like, because they've done a lot to that gazebo thing, haven't they?
They've put some railing on it and scraped all the moss off, I
They've
believe.
treated the wood and then painted it, I think. And then he's like,
Yeah.
Why would
do you
treat
want to
it
relax
and
by
then
going
paint
for
it?
a walk or along a beach? Like, no,
No,
leave
why
me
would I?
alone.
Yeah, but she does. She's like, yeah, that sounds fun. I've never seen a beach before. They walk down the beach, and this is like where we get the stories, isn't it? This is where we're like, is this not where he explains why he's always alone?
Possibly.
No? I don't know.
I've only got where Dave's telling her why they raised Ian.
Oh, that's when they go for a drive in the car.
Yeah, I think I must have zoned out at this point.
I mean, this is the thing. All the dialogue, particularly between the two of them, is like two drunk people talking to each other at
It's
2 a.m.
so stilted and
It's horrible. Yeah.
it feels like they've tried to put jokes in, but neither of them can deliver lines properly.
Yeah.
Like they have this walk on the beach and they come back and then
They have muffins by the pool.
yeah, I think that's breakfast.
Yeah.
That's breakfast the next morning. Dave's like,
No pizza.
Dave's like, can I have a muffin? And she goes, yeah, okay. And I'm like, this is dialogue. This is fucking like. Dave's like, oh, I'm going into town, so if you want, I can drop you off at that cafe so you can do some work while I go to the post office and run some errands. He says.
You work there?
He's doing a job, isn't he? He's gonna go.
He's a postman.
No, I was gonna go and do a bank job. Like,
need money for that gazebo.
yes, and Martha says, "Oh, we can have a talk or something."
Yeah. Apparently Ian's parents were journalists and killed in Colombia.
Yeah,
Keep it light.
I was gonna say, they dumped that in like, oh, he was a journalist. Well, Dave was a journalist. Everyone's a fucking journalist. They were journalists, and his mum was a photographer. But they were, I'm assuming Pablo Escobar.
Yes,
They were trying to take him down. And
they
she's like,
took
oh,
him in.
she says to Dave, though, oh, I'm so sorry. Was Dave in on this?
Ian, meanwhile, is wasting his time just defacing a map with what I thought was a scrawl of a hurricane, but later it turns out to be her face.
Yeah, that's not cartography. That's that thing that people do on the seaside where they draw you on a surfboard.
Well, no, defacing a map is the opposite of cartography. That's obscuring
Yeah, it's
a map.
reverse cartography. And Martha's like, oh, you should hang out with Avery because she's great. And I was like, this is terrible.
He's like, my whole way of seeing things has changed. And she's like, oh, I wonder what the reason for that is. And then Floyd rings her because she's not been contactable for days. And he's should be like, well, where the fuck are you?
Yeah. Well, this leads to an error later on as well on their part. And she's like, oh, the reception's spotty. Are you coming out to see me? And he's like, no, I've got business to do. I've told you this. And she goes, I think we should probably not see each other then. And he goes, yeah, you're probably right. Well, we tried. And it's like, you didn't really try very much, did you? She's like, I'll always remember you and you'll be and I was like, okay, that was...
Anyway, my latte's here, so bye.
Yeah, it was... Oh, croissants. Yeah, it was very sort of... Like, there was no emotion. Like, if there was someone she'd been going out with for X amount of time, you'd have a bit more than just, bye then.
Yeah, it's almost
me
like
leaving a newsagent. All right, see ya. It's
these types of films are always like that. People break up, but there's never like any tension left over from that. Although there is a sting in the tail a bit later on. But
is there though? Is there?
Meanwhile, Martha's I said she fucking loves shells. I don't know where that came from. It's all about shells or something.
They go shell hunting.
Shell hunting. Sneaking down the beach, jumping on them. Get the harpoon, Ian. We gotta land this beauty. She picks up a tiny shell and she's like, they're attracted to me. No, it's just the tide.
Again, though, this is what like talking to people of that generation is like. Ian explains that his constant neglect of women puts them off.
That would do it. Same with me and houseplants, Ian.
He just likes his solitude.
And eating Eli's jizzy pie.
They have crab claws later.
Well, I think this is when they come back. This is where they're making a meal, and Martha's got this fuck-off bowl of green beans. It's massive.
Green beans and crab claws. I don't know what other vitamins you need.
That's everything.
She does them. She does muffins. She does cookies.
That's
it.
Yeah.
That's a repertoire.
That's right all the major foods. It's a very small food triangle.
They're all doing stuff outside, and Avery is trying to work, and she hears them like mouthing off and everything. And she comes out and she says, "I didn't hear banging," so I thought I'm writing that down.
And they're like, "No, is this where Ian's sweeping up?" Is this? No. Sorry, we have a party before that. A party. We should have a party for celebrating the finishing of the gazebo.
Dancing in the gazebo with jazz music.
Right now, our party. It's just the four of you. It's just the same as every night, isn't it? Like, it's not. Oh, we got dressed
they've
up.
got that they've got that like catchphrase music on the radio.
And then we get, look at them being wacky. So like Ian does some shitty dancing. They throw fruit at each other.
He talks to her about her app, and then
this fucking app.
He starts
Map.
and then they have a heated discussion about flower beds that then spirals out of control.
Again, there's bits of this where it feels like they've gone just improvise, especially with Martha. Martha feels like she's gone, I level 4 improv, me. Yeah, it's fine. I can do anything. And then she's like, muffin. It's like, shit.
Did anyone get the details of the argument? It's
argument,
so stupid.
The argument later on when he's sweeping up, I got in a nutshell. Yeah, because Avery has the thinnest skin in the world, it would appear.
It's something to do with how the flagstones are very straight, but the flower beds are all curvy, but they complement each other well. And he takes it the wrong way and says that, I don't know, she's got a borderline personality or something.
And you stink.
And then she storms off. Martha comforts her with some cookies.
Yeah.
And then she says that Ian studies me, which is the most chilling thing that could possibly be said about him.
No, this is after Ian. I think Martha and Dave have gone off to do something, and Ian's sweeping up outside, and Avery comes over, and then this is where like he says something. He says, so you're sweeping up then or something, and Martha and Dave say, oh, you're sweeping up to him, and Ian goes, well, I wasn't going to, but Avery changed my mind. She does that a lot. And Avery goes, did you call me a prick? I'm like, what? No, he was sort of in a weird way saying like you were strong-willed and know what you wanted. And she's like, right, I'm going to go off and shit in the fucking B-day. It's just an overreaction. And that's when she's sitting there and she brings these cookies in. And she's like, what was it? Sometimes it makes me feel uncomfortable. And sometimes it's like the sun shining on my skin. And I was like, when you wrote that, you thought that's romantic, but that just makes me think of like,
it's just creepy.
Yeah, it's bad.
It burns you. That's what she says. Yeah. And then she says, well, it's food for thought, almost as good as these cookies. And it's like,
bye.
And then she's like, well, I need to talk to somebody, saying I'm going to phone my mum, who's not appeared since Act 1.
I thought that. I thought, they dragged her back out.
Mum's outside hosing dog shit off the pavement. And her mum basically says, well, yeah, maybe stop being such a prick. She literally, she just says, maybe you should like grow up and accept compliments off people. Anyway, can't talk. Bye. Just
focus on the good that's right in front and inside you. And I thought the inside bit didn't need to be there.
I didn't hear banging.
Anyway, more hurricane proofing of the pergola the next day.
I swear to God, it will withstand anything. That
you know what they're doing now? They're putting wind chimes on it.
Fucking.
Make the most out of the hurricane.
Imagine
right?
that in a hurricane. No.
Well, it sounds nice.
Just at the best. No, it wouldn't. No.
It's like jazz music.
Oh wait, this might be when they have the party. Because after the party, do they not go for? Do you want to go for a walk? Because they have a dance, don't they? Like Dave and Avery have a dance, and then he goes, "We should all swap partners." And I was like, "I bet you do, Dave, you filthy bastard."
Yeah, they do some beach wrestling. They play a game of Ride the Man and some coconut eating. And she tries to look at his notebook, and he's like, "No, don't look at that." I'm like, well, this is the worst church.
This is the worst church fate I've ever been to.
Ride the Man.
Why have we not got Splat the Rat?
And then that's when they have that
20p, every prize a winner.
They have that picnic that consists of wine and wine alone.
That's my kind of picnic.
That's a perfect picnic.
They're walking back and they're almost like gonna kiss, aren't they, at this point?
Yeah, they're made up.
And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Floyd fucking appears.
Yeah.
How did you get here? GPS. That wouldn't. If you can't get phone signal, you can't get GPS. Surely.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like locator or something like that. It's like
locate my iPhone sort of thing. And I was like, this doesn't make sense. And he's like, I thought you couldn't get signal. And she went, this must be one of the areas I can. And I was like, good lying.
Oh, hang on, because they have to go for that nighttime adventure first. Do you remember that? Do you remember the nighttime adventure?
Did that involve a game of Ride the Woman? equality
should've
and all that.
No, he wakes her up in the middle
Oh,
of
he
the
wakes
night,
up in the middle of the night,
and he's like, "Come on, let's get out."
like an absolute psychopath. She goes, "It's the middle of the night," and he goes, "Oh, come on, it'd be fun." And I was like, "No, no."
I did like though that right next to her was Bernie's trophy. There was a pigeon trophy.
Oh,
right
lovely.
there. So,
Yeah, so this is where they go for the midnight walk, and he puts her on a boat. They go out, and there's bioluminescent jellyfish.
that's good.
It looked all right,
Decent.
that, to be fair.
And it's
yeah.
near a B&B, so makes sense for a romantic location. Although they do have a massive interest in that B&B now, so probably wouldn't want that in there. But yeah,
Yeah, and then as they're coming back, Floyd appears, and he's like, "I just wanted to talk to you or something." And Ian, coward that he is, just goes, "You're right, Floyd, I'll see you in a bit then," and walks off and leaves her.
No, he does like that Homer Simpson thing backwards through the bush. He just kind of goes, and then walks, but he doesn't say anything, does he? All right.
He does. She goes, "This is Ian," and he goes, "All right," because he's from Lancashire.
it's gotten very, very serious though, because moments before when they were on the boat, they talk about love and like, how do you know when you're in love? And it's clearly when you're being circled by swans. They did like a full loop of them, these swans just looking at them.
La 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 la, my oh my, look at the boat to shine. Yeah, fucking right. Let's race to the end now because not much happens. She says to Floyd, "Why are you here?" And he's like, "Oh, I think I thought we should give it another try." And she's like, "Nope, want no part of that." And he goes, "Oh, fair enough. I didn't try. I've tried. I've tried nothing, and I'm all out of ideas."
What colour are my eyes then? And he's like, I don't know. Indigo.
Yeah. But he takes her back home.
What she should have done was rolled her eyes back in her head like the Undertaker. That'd have been fun.
And he's like, "I thought we were 98% compatible."
Yeah, and I was like, that doesn't mean nothing. Lily Loughborough. Hello, girls. Eddie Hitler here.
Ian is with Dave, and he gets a call from the Modern Cartography magazine again. They're in touch, desperate to seal the deal with it.
Listen, we've got all these fucking topographical maps we can't get rid of. And he's like, "Oh, I think they've offered him a job doing something." But he's like, "I need to get back to you on that." Floyd's like, "All right, I'll go home then." She said, "No, it's late. Stop here. Everyone else fucking does. We've not paid. It's no way to run a business. Florida, they're giving away food and shelter willy-nilly." So he stays. The next morning, like, have they had a falling out?
Well, she sort of embraces Floyd and gets into the car and says, I need to tell Ian what's happening," sort of thing, which very heavily suggests that she's going off with him good. Why is she getting in a car with him at all? Let's go on a 10-hour car journey together after we've broken up.
No, she gets a text from Grant, doesn't he, saying the deal's off or something, doesn't she?
I don't know.
Yeah.
How have I allowed this to happen? She says.
Well, you've not done any writing, love. You just keep writing 3 different
You're
questions.
just mucking about on a fucking pagoda.
Been in a black hole for about a week.
Yeah, you've mauled by swans and pagoda antics and stealing sandwiches.
But she gets back home and Maggie gets her an extension.
I've just texted them. 2 hours. Fucking what? Can you write a week's worth of article in 2 hours? Yeah, well, an hour and 58. Yeah. I'll have 2 minutes to spare because you've got to make it sound exciting. Ian at this point has just gone rogue and has just started kicking hedges and shit. He's
canoeing towards her.
He's in the Death Lagoon.
He's stomping about. He's just going checking the bodies in the Death Lagoon.
But I have issue with this because he told her that they couldn't go on the water, but there he is on his gondola.
Yeah. What you didn't see was in the bottom of that gondola was like a human-sized thing wrapped in carpet. Weighed down with the old engine block from Thelma. See?
Oh yeah, because it turns out as well that he had that in place for ages and didn't tell her. Again, I'd be fuming about that. Yeah. I could have gone away.
Proper.
Yep.
You could have at least taken me out to the cafe, but no.
Here we are, fucking about on this pagoda. Yeah, so she writes this article, sends it off. The app, she says to Maggie, we need to make it not about compatibility. It needs to be about like something and the X factor. And I'm like, you can't program that. You can't program randomness in it because that may as well literally flip a coin if you're going to do that.
She says that the app needs to slow users down so that they can concentrate on others. Your guess is as good as mine at this point. It's going to work very slowly then.
I'm not playing healer. Sorry, no.
And
Thank
then
God
she's
DPS.
like, well, do we need this grant anyway? This grant from Grant. And she says, well, if you don't mind being paid in self-respect. So everything is like fully leveraged at this point. There's no wiggle room. Everyone's losing the jobs and not getting paid.
And she's just been fucking about. She doesn't care about these 4 other people that she works for.
I'm so stressed at this point in the film.
I was like, oh, God, there's only 7 minutes left.
And then Grant phones up.
Grant phones her up and goes, this wasn't the article I wanted, but by God, it's tremendous. You're now our #1 star super writer, and we'll send you anywhere in the world. You and the map man.
Because this map is fucking fantastic. It's the best map I've ever seen.
It's the most map per millimeter.
It's 1-to-1. Can't say any better than that. He says that they want to send them all over the world making love maps. And it's such a cringy sentence. That's horrible.
Map.
Yeah, I don't know what a love map is. I still don't understand the concept of the thing.
It'll be a map of the world of everywhere they've had sex.
In Thelma.
The pagoda.
In Thelma, in the murder swamp.
In the helicopter.
Anyway, she's like,
Walter watches.
I don't want to go to the launch party now that everyone's like, yeah, we're being paid.
Yeah, we've done it.
I want to go for a drive. She goes to see Martha and Dave,
who were just waiting on their drive. What do you fancy doing today, Martha? Well, I think we should stand on the drive in case any cars come by. Okay, it's a weird thing to do, but whatever.
Hurricane season is next week, apparently, which doesn't seem to bother anyone.
Don't worry about that. That pagoda can withstand a nuclear blast. Got that much fucking cuprinol on it, yeah. So she's like, oh, is he in here? I need to speak to him. And they go, no, he's not.
He's gone.
Where's
and then
he
turns up.
And then he turns up in the truck, and I'm like, whoa, that was close.
Yeah, and he goes, yeah, I did leave to get pie. It's like,
He's got a big thing of pie.
And he apologises.
I've been to Eli's pie shop again.
All while holding the pie. It looks massive, this pie.
This is my second favourite part of the film.
This is the best bit in the film. So she goes, oh, I thought you might want to do this. Leans in to kiss him. And then Dave just comes in and lifts the pie off. I'm like, Dave loves Eli's pie as well. And then, that's it.
That's that.
We can go anywhere in the world we want now because Grant Forbes is going to pay for us to do it. Can you still work for General Cartographer magazine? Who knows?
No, I think the implication is that he's going to work for Love Map because they've been talking, and the indeterminate thing he's been talking about sounds like the indeterminate thing she's made. So
I'm so confused. So he's not going to work for Cartography magazine.
No.
So what was that storyline for then?
He's discovered that there's more than physical maps available, like
Digital.
road maps. For one thing.
Like MapQuest. We used to print out the AA map. Junction 17. Yeah, that was fun. I missed those days. Yeah. So they're going to go off now, live together happily. They're not going to because they're terrible, terrible people. And that's the end of the film.
Yay!
But my main criticism of this is that the acting is terrible, the editing is poor, and
it doesn't really make sense.
Things happen for no reason other than that they have to happen in films like this. Like, you have to have the ex-boyfriend show up, and you have to have the "just let me explain" moment, which they don't even have a "just let me explain" moment because they're never
your traditional
confrontational ones. She has to go with him for sweeping up, and he's like, "Okay," but yeah. So based on that and that alone, I'm going to have to give it 3 bronze jizz pies.
How does the scoring system work on this?
I don't know. I got asked this before, and I was like, "Don't worry about it. It's the same as all the scoring's the same. It's only Katie that messes it up because sometimes she does it out of 10, depending on how she's feeling."
Personally, I think I'm going to have to go for 2 mysterious sticks, which I suppose because there's 2 of them makes it a 4.
Okay.
I was going to go for 2 prawn sandwiches.
That you didn't want.
I didn't want.
Oh, Katie's going to be livid that I had that as the intro.
Yeah, her music's way better than yours, sorry.
Love Map, that was released 2021. The director was somebody called Damian Romay. He has a production company that's based in Florida called Sunshine Films.
How original.
Yeah, I think it should be called like Gatorade Productions or something like that. He's also worked with the guy that played Ian, Reed Favero, on a similar sounding film called Romantic Rewrite that was released last year. So he's
So
just
avoid that
piling
one.
up these films.
Yeah.
Most disturbingly, he's done lots of teacher-student relationship thrillers, such as Dangerous Lessons 2015, My Teacher, My Obsession 2018, and Pretty Little Victim 2021, and also a stinky-looking Game of Thrones parody called Purge of Kingdoms, which is a 2.2 on IMDb.
Oh, it's like a full
That's got
series or
loads
just
of
a
maps.
one-off.
I think it's a full series. I don't
Oh,
know if
I-
we got more than one.
I ain't watching a full season of that shite now.
No. Avery was Ashley Bratcher, the first of many Christian actors in this film. Her most prominent film to date, because she doesn't tweet about this one, is a role in the pro-life film Unplanned 2019. She retweets Elon Musk a lot. So
fuck her
moving
then.
swiftly on.
Menace!
Eli, because I was obsessed by him. Very hard to find online. Tony
he's
Lewis Centauri, I think his name is.
He's the Florida Tom Jones.
Yeah, you should have that as sort of his bio. He's also presumably from the same church. He starred in other religious-sounding films such as Frankie's Redemption, which is about a hitman, Miracle at Manchester, not that one, My Sexiest Year.
That's not religious. Oh, man, if it's Eli just in My Sexiest Year, it's just Eli going around.
Feeding everyone sandwiches that they don't want.
Now you've
in a
made that
boat.
joke about the key lime pie. It doesn't really sit quite right anymore, does it? Martha, Susan Morgan, that's her only film. She's fresh off the boat from Bootle, apparently.
Fuck off, she's from Bootle.
I don't know, there was a vague Liverpudlian lilt to that.
I mean, there
accent.
was all
Good
kinds of
scene,
accents.
yeah.
She went
Is that
round.
Russell Crowe in
It was a trip round the British Isles, that accent, yes.
Flying round the world. Dave is probably the most interesting actor in this. David Razor.
Oh,
He is
Dave,
interesting
Dave.
because he and his family eventually moved to Florida, where he was an amateur magician for years. After attending a local clown school, David went to Virginia to take, and this is not a piss take, he took advanced studies in the art of clowning. He trained and performed with some of the great Ringling Brothers clowns, which included Frosty Little, one of only 4 Ringling master clowns. I don't know what that is.
I've just got visions of that bit in The Simpsons where Homer's like, I'm going to go to clown college. Oh, I
Making
didn't
a
expect him
little
to say
pavilion.
that. Frosty
he-
Little.
Don't know.
That's
I don't know what a
terrible.
Ringling Brother clown is.
Well, Ringling Brothers were like the big circus lads, weren't they?
Were they?
Yeah.
Was Frosty Little one of them by any chance?
No, I'm sure it would be called Frosty Ringling if he was one of the brothers.
Yeah.
sounds
It's like the
like some kind
travelling
of
Wilbury
ale
sort of
disease.
naming system.
No, it sounds like what you order, like a thing. I'll have a little Frosty, please, like a slush puppy.
No, but when you said Frosty Ringlings or whatever it's called.
Oh yeah, that doesn't sound good. No,
Hmm.
pay extra for that.
That
He's,
tapeworm coming out.
he's winner of the Christian Online Film Festival Award for Best Villain for the film The Book, False Prophet. So that's pretty good. I think he played a judge or something. So his other films are A Christmas Karen, 2022.
Oh please.
Haven't we come across a Christmas Karen?
It's very, very recent, 2022. So
I don't. It doesn't sound familiar. However, I don't see why not.
he's done that, Dolphin Island, 2021, and Devil's Tree, Rooted Evil, 2018.
Oh
It goes
no.
from Happy Dolphins to Eternal Damnation.
Yeah, he's got range. Devil's Tree Rooted Evil is about an aspiring journalist, Sam, who finds a tree with a very dark history, made of mahogany. As her own past has demons that continue to haunt her, she eventually finds out what haunts this ominous tree. It's loosely based on real events. The actual tree still stands today. The film takes you out on a ride in a realm of fantasy and into the realms of true evil. But that was followed up by another synopsis that said, partially inspired by true events, in brackets, i.e. is about a tree.
Brilliant.
Okay, I want to know how a tree. The only evil tree I know is the one from Evil Dead and the one in Poltergeist. And that's the only two I can think of. So lovely.
Well, this is another one, so it's sort of like the Ringley Brothers clowns. Yeah, you get one and only one. And your Katie facts have been marked safe from all future storms.
because this film was so boring, obviously it was on dove.org.
Hey.
It has got a negative rating and a positive rating.
Okay.
What are you going for your negative?
There's a representation of another religion, that Buddha statue. They're raking about all over the place.
Oh,
You're not gonna like that.
No.
Alcohol consumption?
That picnic.
Yeah, they get
Well-
leathered on that picnic.
They say wine bottle visible at the beach picnic, but no consumption.
Oh,
It was quite a full bottle. I take note of stuff like that. 75%, I'd say.
How do Dove.org feel about upskirting?
Well, you know, so they gave it a negative rating of 3. Nudity, Ian's bare torso on the beach.
Oh,
Not
that
suggested.
felt gratuitous, that, when they showed that.
Yeah. And obviously the drugs is the wine bottle. Sex, short shorts worn by Avery in tropical weather. Not provocative. Gentle hugs and kisses.
That's how I finish my emails at work.
Not provocative.
Shorts, but not provocative.
Kind regards, not provocative.
As per my previous email.
Positive rating.
Strong family morals?
Yeah.
Godparents.
Yeah.
Godparents
like
is
that.
good. And dead regular parents.
Ian is loyal to his family and a steward of the land.
A steward of the land. Wow.
Is
I'm
that
gonna
an
sign
old
off
way
my
of saying
emails like that.
cartographer?
So
Wait,
we've got
is
a positive
Isn't
rating
steward
of 2.
steward of the land what them people who like don't pay council tax because of Magna Carta? Isn't that what they say they are? Stewards of the land. I am Dave of the house fucking Smith or whatever. You know the nutters you get on like local news reports. No?
But you can buy some land, can't you, in Scotland and be a lord?
No.
It's the sovereign
Citizen sort
movement.
of thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, he's a steward of the land.
Stewards of the
Anyway.
land.
Yeah. So a negative rating of 3, positive rating of 2 for integrity.
Bad language, none.
No bad language. So searching
A man forces pies into people.
They'd probably see that as, oh, he's expressive and wants to help people. So they say, searching for love can take you on a bumpy ride, but unexpected detours can lead to tender moments and pleasant results, and is well worth the effort of swerving off course with abandon. Be brave and follow your heart. I love how many puns there are in there
That's
about
pretty
cars.
good, that, yeah.
It's terrible
And
advice,
then-
but yeah.
Sunny Days watched this in November, gave it an 8 out of 10, and I felt very much like I could have written this. So, good on paper, but is missing something.
Yeah.
Dialogue.
Just like the Love Map app, this movie is great in theory, but lacks a bit of magic. The story is fine, locations are stunning, and the characters are lovely. But the sound just doesn't work. The 2 leads are mumbly, and they seem to either talk or act, but not at the same time.
Fair.
It feels a bit like they are still rehearsing the scenes and not quite there yet, which is distracting and slightly restricts the chemistry. Because of this, the older couple totally outshine them, so the movie's a bit off kilter. However, I would watch sequels with the different B&B visitors, etc., and or Avery and Ian on their travels.
No. Unless it's Martha and
Imagine-
Dave murdering the people at the B&B, and then Ian has to
Taking
cover it up.
Oh no,
Taking them to the lagoon.
I would love to see a sequel of this where they're just off in like a different country at a different quarry.
Yeah, it's called Love Quarry, the sequels. No, there was barely a story to tell there, let alone another one. No, wrong.
But the sound and the acting.
the sound
spot
was poor as well. There was moments where all you could hear was the sea.
Yeah, but I guess it looked all right. I mean, there were lots of shots of like a sunny beach, which if, Sunny Days would watch this in November, it's kind of like watching it now, kind of long for like a day at the beach with a bottle of wine as your only companion. But yeah, the
on. In
rest
the
of it was
stormproof.
yeah. This'll see me through hurricane season.
Oh, go on, we're done.
Is that you? You only got one?
That's me.
Fair enough.
2, dove.org.
Oh yeah, Dove.org, sorry. I forget that Dove.org is actually technically a review site. And
It takes a lot of my time, dove.org.
because it's horrible to
It
read,
does.
yeah. That was 2021's
Map.
Yeah. Listen, I made that, so we're listening to it as much as we can. It was a film that existed. Your favourite lines from the film. Oh,
No,
I just remembered a bit. I brought bread.
When David comes back with his bread.
He's very proud of that bread.
I did leave to go and get a pie.
Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Just stick to what you know. We've got an audio language for this.